the Clippers wanted you?
I mean, that goes that goes without saying, brother. Apparently not if I'm, on the other side. So.
Woo-wee, NBA fans, what's good? You are now rocking with the best. Ro Parrish on your screen. Game Time is the program. Front office exec Tom Penn is there. I affectionately call him the Big Petty. Brendan Haywood joins us as well. The best off the bench in the association. Montrez is on the other side. Exit Clippers, enter Lakers. B. Wood, got to start with you. What are your thoughts on Montrez exiting and going over to the other side of the Staples Center?
It's a rather confusing deal because I'm a big fan of Montrezl Harrell and what he's able to do and how he's old school, his mentality, and how he just brings that edge to him. And I think Montrezl the last 2 years has just been fantastic off the bench, and that's obvious by the fact that he was Sixth Man of the Year. But when I saw the number that he signed for with the Lakers, only $9 million per year on a 2-year deal. He has a player option on the second year. But when I saw Montrezl Harrell sign for $9 million, when I saw him sign for around the same thing as Mason Plumlee and less than Myers Leonard, I was like, what is going on here? I'm not sure if he was ready to leave the Clippers. I'm not sure if he didn't feel like there was a better deal out there. I don't know what. The Lakers got a steal. They got a great player at a great price. But more importantly, I honestly think Montrezl Harrell is worth a lot more than this.
Very interesting. Tom Penn, coming in you as an executive, looking at what Rob Pelinka has done. We saw last year he finished 6th when it came to winning the Executive of the Year, only one first place vote. Seeing all the roster moves that he's made so far this season, what is the most impressive one to you that stands out?
They're all impressive, upgrading multiple positions. You take Rondo and turn him into Schroeder. You take McGee and Howard and turn them into Gasol, re-sign Caldwell Pope, re-sign Morris. A lot of nice changes happening here. And then the big one is Montrezl Harrell. For all the reasons Brennan just said, I mean, Sixth Man of the Year, we see the production that he brought to the Clippers. He's going to bring that to the Lakers. Major energy, major grit, give him an edge off the bench. They can play him at the big, you can play him small, whatever he wants to do, he's going to be able to go in there and mix and match with those other Lakers. And to the business side of this, don't forget, he's represented by Rich Paul, the same agent as LeBron, the same agent as virtually every other player on the Lakers roster now. And things are being orchestrated. Anthony Davis hasn't yet signed his extension. This is a one-and-done type deal because Harrell can get after it again next offseason. But when you look at the Lakers, Rob Pelinka's Executive of the Year right now, no question.
No question about it.
Hey, Tom, all I know is this, man. If I'm Montrezl Harrell and I'm taking this type of pay cut, I'm gonna walk over there to Braun and be like, listen here, man. When Space Jam 3 come out, I'm gonna need to get paid $20 million to play on the Toon Squad. That's all I know. Ain't no way Montrezl Harrell's supposed to get paid $9 million, man. No way. No way.
B. Wood coming in like a Monstar right now. B. Wood, just looking at it from a basketball standpoint, you add Montrez, you add Marc Gasol. How does that help that front court of the Lakers, who just lost Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee?
Well, I think the Lakers have just improved all around. I think you improve when you bring Montrezl Harrell in. And to Tom's point, they can play small, they can play big. What do you do when Montrezl rolls down the lane and Anthony Davis is the one spacing? Because we know Montrezl is an animal inside. Marc Gasol doesn't move quite as well as he used to, but he's savvy. He knows how to play. He's an excellent passer. I can see him at the high post giving teams fits, finding LeBron for back doors. So I think the Lakers won the championship and found a way to get better without spending a lot of money. I mean, there were a lot of people that were nitpicking Rob Pelinka a summer or two ago. Those people got to stand down right now. Rob Pelinka is already looking like the best GM in the league this year and hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to get more than one first-place vote when it comes to that Executive of the Year. He has Tom's apparently, too. One of the players that he did bring in last season we know was Boogie Cousins, and he's moved on. So much misfortune when it comes to Boogie. His attempts to stay healthy, the torn ACL, the ruptured Achilles. After stints with the Lakers and Golden State, the 4-time All-Star is now going back to the Southwest Division as the Rockets sign Boogie to a 1-year non-guaranteed deal. So, B. Wood, what does Boogie have left in the tank? We've seen all these injuries. It seems so unfortunate to see what he's going through. What does he have left, and how does he help this Rockets team?
Well, it's going to be hard to say what he has left because we didn't get to see him this year. And even when we last saw him with Golden State, he was injured. So the biggest thing is Boogie Cousins is healthy, we know he's going to be able to score the ball on the block. We have to see, hey, is he going to be able to move with pick and rolls? Is he going to be able to move and be your last line of defense? Those are questions that I'm going to have. As far as scoring the basketball, I know Boogie's going to be able to score the ball in his sleep. See, hey, is he going to be able to move with pick and rolls? Is he going to be able to move and be your last line of defense? Those are questions that I'm going to have. As far as scoring the basketball, I know Boogie's going to be able to score the ball in his sleep. But as far as moving around, recovering from the Achilles and the ACL, and then getting back in playing shape, I have to see what that's going to look like.
Tom, from a personnel standpoint, you have two players that are still currently on the roster as far as we know, talking about Russell Westbrook and James Harden. How will these players mesh in with what Boogie brings to the table on the floor?
Well, it's still all about those two and how happy or unhappy they're going to be. They both expressed the desire to leave or to explore a trade. For contractual reasons, it's been difficult to find a home for them. You bring in Cousins. Look, if he can be healthy and hold up, Brendan, I think it's a pretty good fit because he's going to get a lot of touches and a lot of chance to do what he can do, score the ball. As they try to transition away from the complete commitment to small ball, super small ball that they had in Houston, they're going to try to play maybe a little more traditionally. They bring in Wood from Detroit. They bring in Cousins, who's got a lot more experience and, if healthy, a lot more in his arsenal offensively. It could be a help, but I don't know if they can hold it together in Houston or how crabby these two all-stars are going to be looking to get out of there.
Christian Wood signed that 3-year deal for $41 million going to the Eastern Conference. The Wizards, they have assets or bait that is coveted by other teams. Now, Wizards GM Tommy Shepard told them, hold on, player, when it comes to fishing for his all-star backcourt.
There's no plans to trade John. Obviously, that's unfortunate this time of year. I think the bait and tackle shop's wide open for business. There's a lot of people that get excited on the internet or whatnot, but I was with John this morning. I watched him work out. He had another fantastic workout. Talked to all of our players. I talked to Bradley today. He's excited about getting back here, getting ready to get to training camp. I think the story, it's a new story now with John and Bradley versus it's not a sequel.
Some might look at this as gamesmanship. Some might look at it as the real deal. Tom, coming to you, buy or selling what GM Shepard is saying about his backcourt?
Well, there's no plan to trade John Wall because there's nobody that'll take John Wall. $132 million left on his deal, $44 million a year guaranteed, and we know he hasn't played for coming up on 3 years, and when he played before that, it wasn't much. So there's just a slew of money left at that age with that injury history, and that PO at the end means player option, so it's going to be there. It's a ton of dough. And we just simply haven't seen this player that we're seeing in the highlights on the floor in such a long time. I hope he can come back. I hope that backcourt is reinvented in a way that Tommy Shepard was selling today, where he says Wall's shooting the ball better. We know how Beal's evolving. They would each be better with each other, but that hasn't happened in now years. So we just wish him well, hope he comes back. But trust me, Tommy Shepard would trade him in a second if somebody would take it.
We've seen contracts in the past. Hey, B. Wood, you already know. Go ahead.
Man, my man Tom Penn just giving you the real deal. He giving it to you straight with no chaser out here. I'm not sure whether Tommy will trade him or not. But I will say this. I think that he does believe that John Wall will be back next year. He does believe that this backcourt will have a big say in how the Wizards will be playing. I think the Wizards are going to be an exciting team. From what I've heard, John Wall looks good. He is shooting the ball better in his workouts. He looks like he's in good shape, too. And that's the biggest thing. Coming off these multiple injuries, how good of shape can you be in coming into a camp that's going to probably be abbreviated and rushed into an NBA COVID-type season?
What we've seen in the past, these impossible contracts to move. You think of Chris Paul, you think of Russell Westbrook. They figure out a way to get moved. We'll see.
That wanted to re-sign there.
Honestly, I feel that, if you spend your career in any place long enough, you're going to want to continue to still keep playing there and keep, growing there. So, of course, I still have great respect for those guys and for that organization. But like I said, as far as, if they wanted me back, obviously it just doesn't seem that way, does it?
Montrezl Harrell there on your screen now is Mark G_Medina on Twitter. That's his social. You can find his work there, or you can find it on USA Today, covering things all NBA. We saw Montrezl going to the Lakers. I saw in your piece you wrote about Rob Pelinka and his account on these upgrade plans for the Lakers, finding star role players that play with grip, a description that seems to fit Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, and I think it seems to fit the description of who else the Lakers were able to get during free agency when you talk about Marc Gasol and Wesley Matthews. And it's scary to think about this because the Lakers are just coming off a championship season, but they're substantially better because they're able to get younger. They're able to add more consistent secondary scoring. And some of the negative attributes as a consequence of losing guys like Rajon Rondo and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, frankly, they were able to find reinforcements to make up for that defensively. Marc Gasol is a former Defensive Player of the Year. Wesley Matthews is a good wing defender. Montrezl Harrell isn't the best defender, but I think his offense makes up for it more than his defensive lapses. So all in all, I think the Lakers were able to accomplish their objective with finding a way to make a championship roster even more dangerous.
We saw how dangerous that roster Rob Pelinka constructed was last season, and he was an individual that finished 6th in the Executive of the Year voting. He managed to do a pretty good job. How is he going to address losing a player like Rondo? What are the Lakers going to do with that gaping hole in their backcourt?
It's a good question. Look, Rajon Rondo is a valuable piece, especially during the playoffs. So they still have some roster spots left. My hunch is that they're going to try to fill that backup point guard position. But the reality is they were able to offset some of those intangibles that Rajon Rondo provided in terms of veteran leadership when you're looking at a guy like Marc Gasol. Yes, obviously it's apples and oranges as far as differences go, but the veteran presence is still there. And then as far as, some of the negative things about Rondo, look, he was coming off a lot of different injuries throughout the year, and there was some concern entering the playoffs. Was he going to be able to stay healthy? So in some respects, the Lakers down the line may have been dodging a bullet because you just never know at someone at Rondo's age, will health issues persist? So the fact that they got younger, I think the odds are increasing that they're going to be having a much healthier roster, especially come playoff time.
Now, looking at that roster, we saw that Anthony Davis said he was going to make his announcement after Thanksgiving. So as an executive, when you're in that position, how did that help the Lakers in making these moves prior to him making his decision?
Well, it certainly helps the Lakers that they have strong assurances that Anthony Davis is coming back. If they didn't, then this would be a real cause for concern because he was the second best player on the team. I think organizationally speaking, they're trying to set up a system where LeBron James can pass the baton to AD to become eventually the number one focal point on the team because LeBron's going to turn 36 in December. So I think what the Lakers were able to show with Anthony Davis is, look, they have a pretty good track record of upgrading the roster even more. Some of these moves, specifically with Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol, is going to make life easier for Anthony Davis. But the reason why AD still hasn't formally committed, it has nothing to do with any concerns he has with the franchise. He's really trying to calculate what should the contract look like. Should he go for a long-term deal? Should he go for a 2-year deal so that he's a free agent the same year as LeBron James? So that's kind of the number crunching that he is going through. But I'm sure that the fact that the Lakers were able to, make the roster even better makes him even more comfortable that he wants to wear the purple and gold uniform again.
Now, all these moves that Rob Pelinka has made, which one stands out? You have the KCP re-signing, the Morris twin coming back. You have Goldie coming over from OKC. You mentioned Montrezl Harrell. You mentioned Gasol. Out of all those moves, I didn't even mention Wesley Matthews. Which one do you think is the most valuable addition that they've made so far?
I think it's Montrezl Harrell. Look, he's a former Sixth Man of the Year last year. He's going to make life easier for AD and also LeBron, especially because of the short turnaround of the season. So you're trying to look for people that can provide consistent scoring beyond their star players. You look at Montrezl Harrell, and then I think you also have to look, this was at the cost of the Clippers keeping their main guy. And look, as you saw in that clip earlier, the Clippers kind of gave the impression of Montrezl Harrell that they weren't really concerned about keeping him. They were able to, I think, upgrade with getting Serge Ibaka, but I still think that it's not a good look for the Clippers because, you wonder, would they have been able to make a sign-and trade with Montrezl Harrell where they would at least get something in return, whether it's with the Lakers or another team. And obviously Montrezl has to sign up for that. But this idea of the Clippers allowing their LA rival and the Lakers becoming better at their expense isn't really good. But I think all things considered, the Clippers are still going to be another team to be reckoned with in the West. And I would expect that both LA teams will face each other in the West Finals.
Mark Medina, always one to be reckoned with when it comes to delivering the news. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon.
I appreciate you as well.
Moves of free agency. You see DeMarcus Cousins, as we spoke about earlier, 1 year non-guaranteed deal with Houston. Morris, the veteran minimum to stay in L.A. Dario staying with the Suns. And Len is going to Toronto. Welcome back in, my guys, Tom Penn and Brendan Haywood, looking at some of the moves that have been made so far this offseason outside of the Lakers. B. Wood, I know that you're excited that Serge is going to the Clippers to rejoin with the fun guy. Why do you like that move so much?
I like that move because Serge Ibaka fits into what most teams are looking for from a center in today's basketball. And then you also look at the fact that Serge had his best offensive year last year, and his minutes weren't super high. 15.4 points per game, shot 38% from three, 51% from the field, all in 27 minutes. I like what Serge brings to the table. He's a big that can play in space on both ends. What I mean by that is offensively, he creates space because he can shoot the corner three and the three at the top of the key. Defensively, he's able to play in space in the pick and roll, and that's what the game is all about. He can switch to pick and roll, move his feet. He can still give you some rim protection. All in all, I think this was an incredible signing for the Clippers. The Clippers got better with this move.
Getting better indeed. We saw the Miami Heat get better last season, advancing to the NBA Finals. So far, they add Mo Harkless, Avery Bradley. They bring the Dragon back in. But they've maintained flexibility, Tom, and you like this move.
Yeah, you just said it all. Reload with what they value, add in new talent, and most importantly, keep flexibility for next year. They have their eyes on the prize. Pat Riley knows better than anybody you need superstars to win it, not just get to the finals, but win it. And he's got his eyes on Giannis Antetokounmpo or on Oladipo, one of those two star free agents. All those deals you mentioned are 1 year and then 1 year in the team's option. They can make those contracts go away and have the flexibility. They wait on Bam Adebayo's extension, and they can load up with one of those superstars.
Indeed, that keeps them open and available for free agents at the buzzer. Remember that time a rookie challenged MJ in Mile High? Dikembe Mutombo challenged MJ. MJ knocks down the free throw with his eyes closed. B. Wood, is this one of your favorite MJ moments?
I mean, this is a classic MJ moment. MJ, everything about this play is just what Michael Jordan was all about. He was all about competition at the highest level.
Competition at the highest level. We provide